They say the best things come from the worst shit.
50 conversation, the way you look at it. People they could say you stupid all you want for wanting to leave, but then people tell you that you gotta leave. This is why you have to leave. So it just goes hand in hand. Like I said yesterday, it's really a double-edged sword. I can understand both ways. You can wish one thing could happen or this scenario happened, but at the end of the day, Nipsey Hussle's gone. Unfortunately, we don't have the answers why, and it's real unfortunate. But Jay Prince has something to say on Instagram. It's a great segue into even staying in your hood, in your neighborhood. It's kind of lengthy, so bear with me, but here we go. Stand up. Nipsey's gone right now, and no one can bring him back to life. I saw a lot of myself in Nipsey, that love to give back to the hood, and brothers like us know that there's a possibility that we could get killed in the hood every time we enter. In spite of knowing that our love for the hood is stronger than fear or death, because we are built differently than most. Since many are actually discouraging going back to the hood after reaching levels of quote unquote success, to give back by opening businesses, creating income and opportunities, and being present. Understand that those are the people who don't understand our mentality, especially those who've abandoned the hood. I won't take this opportunity to criticize his works and efforts he puts into his community, because I knew this brother's spirit. We had many conversations and inspired one another. The truth of the matter is this shouldn't have never happened like this. We have to put a wall of protection around our loved ones to prevent clowns from having access to harm them without serious consequences. In other words, this clown should have been DOA. It's time for Crips, Bloods, community activists, all the gangs and regular civilians to come together on one accord and send a message to these clowns that there's nowhere to hide for the violation of taking our loved one Nipsey and the other for senseless murders. So therefore, anybody who's harboring this clown is in violation. Nipsey started a great work, and I would hope the homies in the hoods of LA are not discouraged for giving back and creating opportunities in their communities because of these clowns. In closing, let's just deal with the clowns. There's power in numbers. What's a great time to deal with the enemies. I send my condolences to the family and friends around the world. RIP, homie. What's your thoughts on that, Oga?
Can agree. And, I can agree. All I'm saying is, like, definitely go back, definitely go help, just take the proper precautions, when you go back into that environment. Other than that, I agree with everything, that he's saying. And I get the part where it's like we can be at a football game and we know in this area, somebody got shot at a football game, a practice, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you could be anywhere and things can go down, things can happen. But I understand the part where you say your love is, love for the hood and your community is more than any fear. We get that. But now I think that people need to look at this situation like it could have been them. It could have been their family member. And I'm talking about obviously high profile, people, but even regular people in general, obviously still need to take precaution. But let's say your people, your industry people, your musicians, your athletes, they need to take the precaution to have them security and be willing to shoot it out or die, in the process of saving their life, because you have people out here who are looking, to get you at any moment. They may want to get your chain. We look at XXX, the way he got shot. They was trying to get the money. Sean Taylor. And rest, they was trying to break in his house yesterday. And probably get happy belated, definitely. They was probably trying to get a $10,000-$15,000 out of his crib or something like that. Senseless acts of violence that continue to go on in our community, man. It's just real sad, man, at the end of the day. Real sad, bro. Yeah, indeed. And I think that Jay Prince, what he's doing now, because we've seen him getting very vocal when it comes to social media. And like I alluded to in the conversation we had about him and my man Almighty Jay's chain. Yeah. And the reasoning and why he may be coming out, I'm thinking he's saying that this is how to speak to the new age. This is how to speak to the kids. And this is the way to communicate. Now, he still does, it seems, walk and talk under a old book and an old school way of thinking, which we honor. And this is the code that we grew up on. It's a whole different age, whole different ways. So I'm sure people are going to cut this up and screw it up all kind of different ways and take what he's saying right now out of context. But he's saying some real things. And I don't think by any stretch of the imagination, based off the conversation that we had yesterday, should anybody think that you were talking about running out of the hood, because we talk on private conversations on numerous occasions about what we're going to do right here within our neighborhoods and what we're going to do within in certain areas of where we live right now that need help, things that we pride ourselves on. So we understand the value
of planting a seed, watching it grow, and then replanting it. This is what the values that we grew up on. But you also have to understand, when you grow up in areas where people just do not want to see you succeed because they want to continue to watch you be at the bottom like they are. And once you do succeed and you do give back and you get the love and admiration of the people, and they see that, some people are just envious of this shit. Right. And for reason out of your control, they want what you got. And if they can't have it, they're going to take it away from you. And this ultimately, unfortunately, happens where you rest at, where you sleep, where you grew up at, the people that knew you the most. And this is where we see some of these unfortunate occurrences happening, because they're so comfortable in their atmosphere. They're so comfortable in their environment where somebody can walk up on an unsuspecting situation and click somebody's life out with a snap of a finger. It's crazy.
What do you see happening from here, with Eric Holder? What do you believe this should happen next? What's your view on that, as far as somebody taking somebody's life? What do you feel should happen to that? We obviously on YouTube and whatnot. May not post this exact part, but
right, yeah. When it comes to let's see, we talk about this often. We don't condone anybody going to jail, blah blah blah, blah. But murder, somebody taking somebody's life unjustly. Yeah. I'm with the eye for an eye mentality. Yeah. Only God can judge, but I'm for the eye for an eye mentality when it comes to that, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
I could definitely, agree, with that 100%. There's no coming back from that. You know what I mean? If somebody's wants to go that route, then they should be able to deal with that themselves.
Go down with the ship.
Yeah. That's all I can pretty much, say on that. But dope. I like the way that Jay Prince is approaching, this, because you got responsible outlets like us who are gonna, put up what he said, read the whole thing in its entirety, and just give honest, perspective, on what he said, and just sift through it. And I think it's 100%, accurate. And now for Jay Prince, obviously we know that he's a guy. I don't know everywhere that he goes, but I know most places that he's heavily, secured and armed, no matter where you're at. It's just a precaution that has to be taken when you're rich, when you're famous, and people know, who you are. You have to do it. I say this, and man, and then I'll let you go right after this. Yeah. And like I said in the pre-production, it's like, if you got the means to protect yourself, do it.
You got to, and you got to start. If you're gonna move like a businessman, if you're gonna move like someone, like a political figure, whether you're in politics or not, got to protect yourself like it. Because first off, you're way too valuable to the people around you. You're way too valuable to your family. You're too valuable to allow a situation to happen where you're caught off guard. And I'm not saying this is what happened here. I'm just saying, let's learn from this and understand that if you're going to put yourself in a position where, all right, I'm about to take this block over, we're about to change this, we're about to change this. Now put in the back of your head, okay, I may have some potential backlash with this. Let me start really moving like a boss and having people around me that can justly take care of a situation. And you don't need somebody out here. And when you said yesterday, if he had somebody holding, they go ahead and shoot and we take care of business. And I was kind of hesitant in that, because I don't want somebody just to go out here and randomly start having gunfire in the middle of a parking lot, and people get hurt that don't need to be getting hurt. But when you lose a life, when Nipsey Hussle's life is ultimately gone because he wasn't having the proper protection around him, this is why it's so important to get them the proper training. If you got the money to be a boss, take care of your people and make sure they get tactical training, make sure they get everything, so that when something goes down, they seeing it a mile away. And if they do got to pull out, they taking care of the target and the target only, and no one else gets hurt.
And then, Dave East was kind of, speaking to that a little bit. And he was just kind of saying, like, it's one of those situations where he was just cooling. You know what I mean? It was his store. Yeah, man. You're in the parking lot. You know everybody. It's your neighborhood. It's almost like, you may be in, P-ville or somewhere, or A Carver, and you just chilling. You coming out the store, and that's the last thing, he was probably expecting. But again, the people that are alive and breathing now, that are the stature of Nipsey and more, you got to take the precautions, because we don't want to be, having a headline or something, about you, because there's always could be that just one person or two people out there who are going to be jealous, envious haters who you never know. You might have said something to them one day because, get out of here, you a snitch. How's that turn into come back and killing somebody? You say something to somebody, and say, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you never know, man. At the end of the day, it's just sad. And we'll see, developments there. Supposedly they caught Eric Holder, who's the alleged shooter at this point of Nipsey Hussle, and we'll see what comes out after this, whether he speaks or anything, whether he says why, what happened. We'll see. We know the woman that was, I think it was her vehicle, that was, she was the driver of the getaway car, said that she didn't even know that, he was going to go shoot him. You know what I mean? So obviously we expect that, but she may have an alibi, obviously.
Yeah, and we don't want to over speculate or put guilt or innocence on her before really
Right.
knowing the situation.
Right.
But when you think about a real situation, it's like, okay, if she is innocent, then she's innocent. But if there's phone records, they're gonna pull those. There's gonna be different kind of things and avenues that they're gonna go through
Facts.
to make sure her alibi sticks. And if it doesn't, then she's a conspirator to murder, and she'll get her just due too. If she's not, then damn, what a fucked up situation to be caught up in. Her life could have been in danger. Who knows? But we're not going to over speculate right now. That'll be out real soon.